Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. My name is 3-Chord Dave and today we're going to talk about two new guitars from Fender, one from Gibson, and then, give you my opinion on them, because that's what we do. Yes, folks, we're going to talk about Gibson and Fenders, of course, in just a moment. But first, let me say thank you to all of you beautiful people who have subscribed to this wonderful YouTube channel. If you haven't done so, please subscribe right now because we are on the road to 5,000 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, and make sure you have all notifications selected. If you do that, YouTube thinks my channel's good and it'll tell other people to watch it, and then I'll stop saying this eventually. Maybe. So anyway, help me out on the road to 5,000, hit subscribe right now, and let's get into the video. Obviously, guys, want to say rest in peace to Charlie Watts, who passed away earlier this week. The Rolling Stones have always been on my playlists, of course, as well, as I'm sure many of you will have had them on yours. And Charlie Watts, one of the most influential drummers, because he's in one of the most influential bands in the history of the world, sadly will be missed. And now Fender have some new models coming out of Japan. One of them is mildly interesting and one of them is terrible. Again, this is just my personal opinion. So let's take a look at the first one. It looks like this, and it is a Swinger. Yes, it is. So the Fender Swinger is an absolutely terrible looking guitar, but here is what it looks like, and it's been reissued by the Fender Japan institution. So it is a signature model for, let me get this right, Daki Sonata, and it apparently plays a Fender Swinger. A couple of changes to what you would normally get. This is a basswood body. It does have a maple neck. All good specs there. And then you've got these two soap bar pickups. Now they don't specifically say they're P90s, but soap bar, so maybe something kind of cool there to check out. And then we've got a three-way switch, a volume and a tone, and then you have what's something a little bit unusual for a Fender Swinger. You've got a vintage tremolo. Now usually a Fender Swinger is a hardtail, so they don't come with vintage tremolos or any other kind of tremolos, but I don't know, what do you think of this? I think this is an ugly guitar, but I'm a very traditionalist. I'm like Les Paul, Strat, Tele, SG, those are the guitars that I really dig. So love to know your thoughts on this one. It does only come in this one color, which you can see is, again, not one I would pick off a shelf, but hey, some people love that. This is available from October with a gig bag, and it comes in at 165,000 yen. So yeah, not too bad when it comes to the dollar and euro, looking around $1,500 for this Fender Swinger. So if you're into swinging and you want a Swinger, then there you go. That's it from Fender. But it's not the only guitar Fender have released, and of course, you know how I feel about this next model, but let's recap it, I suppose, as well. Fender Japan have also reissued the Supersonic. Honestly, I feel like this was a joke being played on the public that they brought out this Fender Supersonic in the first place. So yeah, the Supersonic, I mean, I don't get it. It looks terrible. It looks like somebody drew a guitar and spilled their glass of water on it. And I've used that analogy before for these guitars. I don't like them. I think they look crap. And I'm sorry if you like them. Good for you. I appreciate your opinion, but I do not like these whatsoever. So Fender Japan have released this. I don't think they've done a reissue of a Fender Supersonic for quite a while, probably because no one likes them because they're crap, but hey, let's take a look at them. So you got a basswood body, again with a rosewood fretboard, so good on that front. You got the U-shaped neck, which also is on the Swinger that we mentioned earlier. You've got a reversed headstock, because that might make some people feel a bit better about buying this piece of rubbish, this abomination of a guitar. And then you got the Fender Dragster humbucker pickups. Those are actually a little bit interesting. It would make you maybe disregard the fact that this guitar looks awful and you might pick one up. Available in three colors: a blue sparkle, which looks good, and then a white and a black, which are basic, but whatever you think. The Fender Supersonic is coming out. There's no date for when this is going to hit the streets in Japan, but it is going to come in a little bit less than that Swinger, coming in at 136,000 yen, which makes it somewhere around the $1,250 mark, or 1,200 euro mark, because differences in currencies. We should all just have one currency, like a cryptocurrency or something, and it would all be the same everywhere. It'd be great. But then again, that's a whole other channel that we need to get into right there. But anyway, those are the two offerings from Fender. I'd love to know your thoughts. Are you completely the opposite of me and you like the supersonic and think it's good? Because if you are, there are doctors who can test your vision and see what's wrong with you. Yeah. And what about the Swinger? Are you a Swinger yourself? Would you like one of these Fender Swinger guitars? Why not? I mean, you might want one. If they were in cooler finishes, I might actually not think they're terrible. But there you go. Fender Japan with a couple of interesting-ish releases right there. And of course, we got to talk about Gibson because, you know, they do stuff that make us want to talk about them. And this week it was Jerry Cantrell's guitar, his signature model that we knew was coming, but we didn't quite know that it was going to be a limited to 100 pieces worldwide. Which I never really understand that whole thing. I know, yeah, it adds collectability and all that sort of stuff, but I'm sure there are lots of Alice in Chains fans who want to get a Jerry Cantrell guitar and now they can't because there's only 100 of them being made worldwide. Maybe they just assumed there wouldn't be a huge market for what essentially is a late 70s Les Paul custom reissue. And, you know, there's nothing particularly special beyond the fact that this does have a power bridge piezo pickup, which, I mean, that's pretty cool if you want to play acoustic guitar on a Les Paul. Or you could just buy an acoustic guitar. Now these are done in collaboration with the Murphy Labs. So this is essentially the first Murphy Labs signature guitar. I'm sure we will be seeing a lot more of that from Gibson over the next few years. And these ones all are individually signed by Jerry as well. So nice little touch if you were lucky enough to have the cash ready to go and spend it when these were released, because I'm sure they're all snapped up at this point. Mahogany body and neck with a maple cap on these guitars. You've got three volume controls, I should say, independently, one for the neck, one for the bridge, and one for that piezo power bridge. And then you got a mastered tone. And again, nothing spectacular on this. You got Grover Rotomatic tuners, I believe, on it. It's called Wino for the obvious reasons. It's wine in color. The color is a very popular one in the late 70s, early 80s, so you can pick up Gibson Les Paul customs in this color from around that time, around $3,500–4,000. However, if you are interested in a Les Paul that looks pretty cool and has gold hardware and stuff like that, and as well, if you're after a single cut, Harley Benton do make the SC552, and it looks like this. I think it looks really cool compared to this Gibson custom that nobody can get because they're sold out. It comes in at just under €299, which is a really good deal. You can get them shipped all over the world. I'll leave a link to them in the description and you can check them out. If you're also in the market for a Les Paul, I do still have an Epiphone Les Paul Muse for sale on Reverb. It's the only one of my guitars that I've been selling that is left. So if you want to buy a 3-chord Dave owned guitar, which why would you? I mean, it's just the same as any guitar, but that is on Reverb and you can check it out in the links below in the description also. So anyway guys, that is my video for today. Thank you very much for joining me. I will of course be back very soon, but before I go, I just want to ask you, what do you think of these guitars? So we have 3 new guitars to talk about: the Wino Les Paul from Gibson and of course Jerry Cantrell. And we have the 2 Fender the lovely guitars, that's the Swinger and that god-awful Supersonic, which God knows why they made that. That was just, I think it's a mistake, and there's been like, you know, they had to hand something in by Friday and they sketched it out and gave it. I just don't understand why it's such a terrible looking guitar. But hey, each to his own. Anyway, let me know your thoughts and comments down below and I'll be back to you very soon. Thanks for joining me. Take care, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you soon.